I was a rebel from the day I left school. Grew my hair long and broke all the rules. I'd sit and listen to my records all day, with big ambitions of where I could play. My parents told me what life was about, so I grew up the type they warned me about. They said my friends were just an unruly mob, and I should get a haircut and get a real job. Get a haircut and get a real job.
Good evening, sinners, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Cinema. As always, I'm your host, Sawyer St. Sin, and tonight we're continuing along with the November choices of the month, the musicals. Tonight we're doing Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Ugh. Tongue-tied, right? As always. Anyways, release date was December 3rd, 2007. And director is Tim Burton. And so you can only imagine that our cast has a few of his, names that he likes to use a lot. So story originally done by Stephen Sondheim. And then Hugh Wheeler took, his story along with Christopher Bond and John Logan to turn it into screenplay, as well as, kind of finagle some of the music composing to fit what they needed. But funny thing is Sondheim had been offered, or not offered, I guess approached to do a movie version of this, wonderful musical for quite some time. And it wasn't until Tim Burton expressed interest in it that he was on board for someone doing an adaptation of it. Which I mean I don't know what other directors kind of pitched it to him, but I feel that Burton did a wonderful job turning it into a visual masterpiece of what this movie is, because it is beautiful. So, cast. It wouldn't be a Tim Burton movie if we didn't have Johnny Depp, right? Okay, so he plays Sweeney Todd, aka Benjamin Barker. Then we have Helen Bonham Carter, and she plays Mrs. Lovett. We have one of my favorites of all time, Alan Rickman, as Judge Turpin. I'm terrible with that name. Then we have Jimmy Campbell as Anthony, Jane Weisner as Joanna, Sacha Baron Cohen as Pirelli, and then we have Timothy Spall as Beetle Bamford, which is kind of like the judge's, lackey. So, let's get into the storyline of it all, right? I'm going to be super quick of this one. I'm not going to go into super, minute details, because the songs in the movie, help push the plot along, right? It helps it. Anyways, so, premise. The judge, Mr. Alan Rickman, is infatuated with the barber's wife. And so he sticks a junk crime, something that, he didn't even do, onto him and ships him off to Australia. Because this is in the time period where Australia was just for criminals. That's where the English just shipped their criminals off to, right? Australia. But he ends up getting stranded. He escapes, and he ends up picking up are getting picked up by a ship that Anthony is on. Anthony actually ends up, saving him. And they arrive back in London. And at this point, Mr. Barker has changed his name to Sweeney Todd. But he finds his old residence above Mrs. Levitt's pie shop, right? Her meat pies, which isn't doing good because they gross. Like, they real gross. But as, they go along, Anthony sees Joanna. Turns out Joanna is Todd's daughter, who he thought, was dead. He also thinks his wife is dead. Plot twist, she's not. But, Anthony, saves Joanna from this crazy place and the judge, because the judge took her. Todd exacts revenge on, the judge. First he offs Pirelli because, well, he recognized him from the old days and can't have that running around, so there you go. Then he just, him and Miss Levitt come up with, we're gonna turn the people that we kill into pies. Why not? Free meat, right? I guess. Sorry. I don't want to eat people. People's not on my list of things I want to try, ever. So that's all getting, starts going off well. He offs quite a few people throughout a very beautifully sung song, which is kind of odd that it's so pretty and nice, and he's slashing people's throats. He offs, the lackey, the judge's lackey. And finally he gets his hands on the judge. And, well, he's dead. So, that wife that I told you that he thought died, well, she, breaks into his place because she thought she saw Joanna up there. And he slits her throat because he doesn't realize that's his wife. And then at the end, he realizes it's her, and he throws Mrs. Levitt into the, kennel that they're baking all the pies in. And he goes and he's, pining over, his lost love that he accidentally killed because he didn't realize it was her. And then we have Toby. Yes, Toby. Toby was Pirelli's little assistant boy. I don't know exactly what you call him, but he helped Pirelli sell his magical elixir, right? He ends up killing Todd at the end, just slitting his throat with his own straight razor. Oh, how the mighty fall, right? Anyways, so that's just the plot, in a nice little nutshell. Short and sweet. But visually, this movie is stunning. It's so beautiful the way he did it. The music is beautiful. It's fantastic. Absolutely marvelous. If you ever get to see any kind of adaptation, stage adaptation of this, you should go see it. I could only imagine what it was on Broadway in its heyday. It was probably I don't know, but it was probably amazing. I was too young, unfortunately, to see it in its heyday. Sucks. Anyways, so that is that. Keep it, nice and short and sweet. And I have 2 other videos, that we're going to do this month, but I can't remember the order in which I have them set up. I think that it's Slumber Party Massacre 3? 2? I don't know. One of the Slumber Party Massacres that my cameraman, producer, editor, all around amazing, wonderful human said was technically a musical. So we're gonna see. We're going to see. I think it's kind of like rockabilly too, which I mean rockabilly, like, you know, I love rockabilly, so we'll see if I like that movie. Anyways, until next time, guys, have a great evening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
I was a rebel from the day I left school. Grew my hair long and broke all the rules. I'd sit and listen to my records all day, with big ambitions of where I could play. My parents told me what life was about, so I grew up the type they warned me about. They said my friends were just an unruly mob, and I should get a haircut and get a real job.